Hello students, my name is Robert Connor. I'm a professor here at Lone Star College. Actually, I'm an adjunct professor, which means I teach part-time. I enjoy teaching and I love being here and I love having you in my class. I'm going to teach you something about Texas government because it's so important that you know about your government. Most of you live here in the state of Texas, and if not, maybe you will someday live here. You may live here the rest of your life, and so you need to know how your government works, how you can influence it, and what it does for you. The government has to do with many decisions in your life, many things in your life, including the amount of tuition that you have to pay. That is a government political decision made by the state legislature in conjunction with the governor and lieutenant governor, and also, of course, by the federal government. But we're talking about the Texas government in this course. So I'm going to make the course interesting, informative, and maybe a little bit fun also. So hang on, and this video is a bit long because I have a lot to tell you, so you can stop it at any time and then restart it after a break, or you can watch it as many times as you want to. So let me give it a try. Okay, here we go. We got the right screen now. Okay, this is what you'll see initially. This is the title page with the picture of that incredibly handsome guy there in the middle. And so let me move this back a little bit so that you can see it a little bit better. Okay, and there's a little introduction there. Okay, let's go on to the next screen. And I'm going to put it in student mode so the screen will look like you see it. Okay. Yeah, okay, it is in screen mode now. In student mode, excuse me. Student mode. And you see the textbook there. The textbook you can buy the paperback, but if you buy the paperback only, you have to buy a new one because you have to have a code which is found inside of the book on the front cover on the inside, and it's a scratch off. So you scratch that off and there's a code, and that code is going to allow you to get registered for the course. Now, you don't have to buy the paperback. You can buy the ebook along with the inquisitives, what's called the inquisitives. We'll get to that in a moment. Okay, so this is the introduction. Let's go to the next thing, which is content. Okay, there's the book again. You also have the introduction to the course, which is this video that you are going to be watching. We urge you to subscribe to the Texas Tribune. That is a free publication that keeps you up to date with what's going on in the state of Texas, and it's free. Okay, there is a syllabus which you need to, of course, be very familiar with. I have emailed you a copy of the syllabus. You need to pay a lot of attention to it because it tells you all about the course, everything involved in the course. And you have these neat little click-ons where if you want to see course materials, you can just click on that and there they are. Okay, let's go back to syllabus. Okay, and you have all about the course in the syllabus. Okay, there's my information. You see, you have my contact information. That is my cell phone. It says office phone, but that's essentially my office for Lone Star because I don't have a physical office there. So this is how you get in touch with me. You can call me at any reasonable hour with your questions or your problems. Okay, and this is just giving you the information about the course. It is completely asynchronous, which means that we will not, unfortunately, get to meet together face to face. Everything will be online for you. Okay, here's your book again. These are some important dates, including the date for the start of the semester, which is Monday, June the 6th, and the dates of your exams, the date when your research paper or project is due, and that is very important. The research paper or project, we are substituting that for some other exercises which we would otherwise you would need to do in the course, but we're substituting that for some other things which would take you more time. Okay, it is absolutely required that you submit a research paper or project for the course. You have all 6 weeks of the course to do it, but if I were you, I wouldn't wait. You can do it at any time. The course will be open to you starting Monday, June the 6th at 1 minute after midnight. And so you can do the research paper or project anytime during the course and submit it. You don't have to wait to the last minute. Okay, but it's absolutely required. If you do not submit a research paper or a project of some kind, then you will not pass the course. You will get an F in the course no matter what your other grades are. It is an absolute requirement that you have to do that. This shows you the percentage of your grade that is tied to each requirement of the course. Your exams total 40%. The research paper or project is 20%. Assessments, which are some short quizzes given in conjunction with the final exam, or rather as a part of the final exam, and that's good for a total of 10%. Your attendance and class participation is 15%. Now you ask me, how can you participate in class? How can I take attendance? Well, I take attendance because each day, Monday through Thursday, you're required to sign in with the course. You go to your D2L and open this course just like you do any other course at Lone Star. And I will see that you have logged on to the course. I will see that, and you will get counted present for the day. If I don't see it, if you don't log on to the course, you get counted, of course, absent, and that affects your grade negatively. So you don't want to miss classes. You don't have that many classes. This is only a 6-week course. You don't have that many classes. So you got to log on every day, Monday through Thursday, except the holidays, which at this time the holidays are June the 20th, which is the observance of June 19th, Juneteenth, which falls on a Sunday. So we're observing it on Monday. And so you do not have to log on that day. You also do not have to log on July the 4th, because that also is a holiday. Now, you can still log on, you can still work. Whenever you log on, it's not enough just to log on. Once you log on, you got to do something. You do some work. You work on your course. Okay. And in fact, you've got to do that by June the 9th. That is what's called the ODR, the official day of record. So you've got to be logged on, you've got to be registered for the course, you paid your money for your book and all that, and you have at least worked on the first inquisitive Inquisitive for Chapter 1. I'll show you what that's all about if you're not familiar with Inquisitives. Don't worry, I'll show you. Okay, but you got to get busy. You can't just fool around. Otherwise, they'll drop you from the course. And if you're on student aid of some sort, if you get dropped from the course, then you have to give the money back. And if you don't, then you won't ever get any money in the future. So you've got to log on and do some work by June the 9th. Okay, and every day, Monday through Thursday, you have to log on and do some work. It's not enough just to log on and then log off. You log on, you do some work, then you log off. Okay, here's a day-by-day listing of what you should be doing. And so if you follow this and get the assignments done as listed, you won't get behind and you'll be in great shape, and you won't be pressured at the end of the course when you're way behind and you're going to have to take extraordinary efforts in order to actually get caught up. Okay, and so there's all the information about the school and about the course. Read through that. Okay, I have my specific rules, and that is basically what I just told you. You have to do a research paper or project, and this tells you how to go about purchasing your book and getting logged on to Inquisitive. You also have some words of wisdom. Da-da-da-da. Mr. Bob's Commandments. Okay, there's only 6 of them. The future belongs to those who prepare for it, and obviously you're preparing for it because you're enrolled in this fine Lone Star College school. Okay, let me go to the next thing. Okay, I have made for your convenience calendars for the 2 months of June and July, and they tell you what's going to be happening or what you should be doing day by day. They parallel the list of specific things in your syllabus that you do or should be doing day by day. It parallels that, and it shows you when your exams are and when they're due. And we'll get into specifics of that very shortly. And here's July, and there's some icons which indicate the various holidays that we have coming up and what you're supposed to be doing. You notice your finals are on July the 11th. They will be taken online, obviously, but they have to be taken at a specific time. Okay, the time begins at 9 o'clock in the morning and ends at 11 o'clock. So you have 2 hours to take the final exams, and you do that online. Now, I will be opening the final exams at 8:30, so you can get an early start if you want to. You cannot start before then. There will be a password that you will have to have in order to get in. Okay, so there's are your neato jiffy calendars. Keep you on schedule. Okay, now the next thing is extremely important. Now this is how you are going to get registered in the course. Okay, and tells you about that here, and I'm going to illustrate it right now, but you can read about it also. Okay, what you will do is you will click on this single link to ebook Governing Texas 5th edition. Okay, you just click on that and you will see this is instructor Okay, so I'm going to switch out of student mode. Well, no, let me stay in student mode. Okay, so um, well, okay, you at this point you have not already registered. Okay, so let me leave it in student mode. That'll be the best illustration. Okay. Alrighty. Now, if you have your code, if you bought the paperback, a new one, and you did the scratch off, you have a code. And so you just put that code in here, and you're going to click a couple of times, and then you're good to go. You're all done. Once you have that registration code, it registers you for the ebook and also for the Inquisitives. So you only have to pay one thing. Now the paperback book, the new one, is expensive. It's over $100. So you might want to look at the other route. Now the other route is if you haven't, you want to purchase. Okay, if you did not purchase, you could have bought the ebook on W.W. Thornton Wells' website. If you wanted to, you could have bought the paperback book, a new one, and you would have the registration code. But if you haven't done that, that's fine. I really didn't want you to do that. What I really want you to do is click on this, that you want to purchase access to the course. So you highlight that. You can do a trial, 21 days of trial, so you can get it free for 21 days, but then it goes off. That you don't get to finish, the course. So that's not good. Okay, so show purchasing options. Okay, all right. You put in your name, and you're going to put in your name, and ultimately you're going to put in your school name, and you're probably maybe your student ID, and you're going to be asked for a credit card. The cost of purchasing it is $39.95. So let me go ahead and put in my name just so we can go to the next page. Of course, I'm already registered, so that's why it's a little bit confusing, because I'm already registered as a professor. I'm automatically registered. Okay. Show purchasing options. Okay. Then you put in your Lone Star email address. It's usually your name dot something and then at lonestar dot edu. Okay, so you put in your account and your email address. You put in your email address. Okay, let me put in mine just so we can go on. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. I made a mistake here. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, sorry, I misspelled my name. Okay, there we go. All right, just a little typo. Okay, I had an operation about a year ago on one of my fingers, and it's still a little bit stiff, so sometimes I hit the wrong key or I hit too many keys. Okay, so you've read and understand the terms of use, okay, and then you select your college. which is going to be a college or university student. Your country is the United States. Okay. Your state is, of course, Texas. Okay. And your school, when you start writing this in, it's going to give you some, it's going to come up with a list, and you just go down and find okay, here we go. We are Lone Star College, Houston, Houston. Okay. All right, and then we go continue. Okay, now, oh, they've gone up. It used to be $39.95, now it's $42.95. Okay, but for $42.95, you get the ebook, and you also get the inquisitives. You don't have to buy the inquisitives separately. Once you buy the ebook, you automatically get the inquisitives. Now, if you bought a used copy, paperback copy of the textbook, then you may not want the ebook, and you can just buy the inquisitives. But if you or at this point you haven't bought anything yet, then you'll want to buy the ebook for Governing Texas, $49.95. Okay, and so that's what you're going to buy. So you're going to click that, and you're going to enter your credit card info and so forth, and then you're going to click, and they're going to charge your card, and then you're going to be good to go. Okay, now how do you know that everything went through okay? How are you going to know that? I'll show you. I have to go back. I'm going to destroy what I've just done. Okay, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go out of student mode. I'm going to go into my mode. Okay, and I'm going to go back to this. I'm just moving this around for the sake of showing you my two different views. One, the student view, and the other one is my view as a professor. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. Okay, now as I said, I am already registered, so I can sign in. Okay, now after you finish what I just went through, Okay, I have to create a student set. Okay, I'll go back and do that. Okay, what you will see is you will see this little green thing, which will show that you are created, that you are good to go, that you have logged on. You'll see a little green thing. I gotta go back and create a student set, which I will do in a moment. Okay, but I don't want to take up your time to do that. Okay. Or maybe I will. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do that now. Texas. It's not geology. Okay, well, let me, this is going to require a little time, so let me just get out of this and well, I guess I really have to in order to show you the inquisitives. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. Okay, I've created the student set. Okay, so now I can show you what I was talking about. Okay, so when you go through your exercise, then you'll have this little green emblem connected to LMS with a check mark. That means everything's good to go. You got registered, you paid for your course, you're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so let's go on back. Let's go back to, so you've done everything that you need to do to get started on the course. Okay. Okay, let me go back to student view. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, now, okay, you will see there is a video on how to register with W.W. Norton Inquisitives for D2L. Okay, so if you did not, if I did not do a good job showing you, then watch this video and they'll probably do a better job. And then they're also going to show you a little video on a quick start video, Inquisitives, how to do the Inquisitives, what they're all about. And then there's a little tutorial, Inquisitive assignment, how to use Inquisitives. Okay, and when you do this little tutorial, which is easy, it's just teaching you how to do it, then you will get credit. You will get points on your grade just for doing the tutorial. Okay. Now, if you made a mistake and you signed up for the Inquisitives on the W.W. Norton website and you were working on them there, then you have to sync those, whatever you did, to your D2L. So that's why I told you in your instructions, you can go to the W.W. Norton website and buy the ebook. You can also buy the Inquisitives if you want to. But if you buy the ebook, you automatically get the Inquisitives. Okay, but don't work them on W.W. Norton website. Don't try to work the Inquisitives. You need to do that on your D2L. Otherwise, your grades don't show up on D2L. If you're doing the Inquisitives on the Norton website, your grades don't show up on your D2L, so you're not getting credit for your work. Now, we can cure that, but we don't want to have to. So just don't do that. Okay, and if you went through the exercise that I just showed you, then you're good to go. You have bought your materials and you're ready to rock and roll. Once you have that little green emblem there that you are fully registered and you're ready to rock and roll, you don't need to do anything else. Okay, now if you have some questions about Inquisitives, these are some help notes, and there's also a Norton desk support for students that you can go to for help. You can also come to me for help, although I'm not the expert, but you know, I'll certainly do what I can to help you. Okay, so now you're all fully registered. You're ready to do the course. Okay, here's your mobile advising. You can talk to your advisor if you need to, by email or by video. There's little theories and ideas of politics, which was composed by Professor Jacobs, Kelly Jacobs, Dr. Jacobs, and it's still valid today. So you can look at that. It tells you about, liberal, conservative, and so forth. Okay, you have videos of the day. So you click on this, and every day there are some videos and information on the course. Well, not every day. You don't have something every day, but you have a lot. Now you'll see right now that that these highlighted areas, or these exercises, are in black. That means you cannot access them until June the 9th. You cannot access them before then. And also, as you go through the course, each day is tied to a start date. and you can't access the items except for these notes, which I have some little jokes for you, but you cannot access the videos or the course material until the day comes. So once June the 6th is here, these black letters will turn blue and you can access them. You can access all of those. And so each day has some goodies for you. And so that's the first thing you should do each day when you log on is look at that day's video and see what's cooking, what you need to be doing. And like I said, some of these are course related, some of them are just for fun. Okay, and also it reminds you the days that your exams are due. Okay, so those are videos of the day. Videos and info of the day for each day that we are in session, all the way through Monday, July 11th, which is the last day of the course. Now the course is divided into 4 parts. You have 4 units. Okay, Unit 1 is comprised of chapters 1, which is the political culture, people, and economy of Texas. Chapter 2, the Texas Constitution. Chapter 3, Texas in the federal system. Okay, so we just have 3 chapters on the first unit. Okay, so on each chapter you will have PowerPoints to look at. You'll have summary, an outline of the chapter, and then you'll have your ebook, so you can go to your ebook and read the chapter 1 material in your ebook. And then you have the inquisitive, and this is where you get graded. This is your first grade after you do that little tutorial that I showed you that you get a grade on. Okay, so after that, this will be your next grade, is this inquisitive. On chapter 1. Okay, let me go back to chapter 1. Okay, this is the inquisitive. This is the one that you have to do. Now there's some other exercises here which are good, and I urge you to do them, but they are not tied to a grade. They're just additional learning for you, additional information for you. And some of it's kind of fun, like you have a little animation, the people of Texas and so forth. And so you can look at those, but those are not graded. What is graded is chapter 1, inquisitive, the political culture, people, and economy of Texas. Okay, so let's take a look. Now, my page, here again, is a little different from yours. Okay, let's see. Okay, okay. See, I think that I thought that I already created a student set. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. United States, okay, well, we need to put in the state. Okay, Texas. School name. Here we go. Houston. Okay. Start date is June the 6th. The end date is July the 12th. Okay. Okay, hopefully it all went through this time. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, so we can do the inquisitive for chapter 1 as a student. Okay, we start with normal. Okay. Okay, so here's the question. Policies that cultural conservatives do want to enact. Now, conservatives are cultural conservatives and they're economic conservatives. Cultural conservatives are concerned with moral things, moral policies like traditional marriage versus same-sex marriage, immigration, things like that. They're concerned with. Economic conservatives are concerned with taxing policy. They want a small government and small taxes, and in order to get small taxes, they have to have a small government. In other words, the government cannot be doing a lot of things, cannot be providing a lot of services, and at the same time keeping taxes low. So economic conservatives would be interested in keeping taxes low, and to accomplish that, keeping government small and not doing too much. Okay, so now before we answer this, we say, okay, do I think that I'm going to do good on this quiz? I say, hey, yeah, man, I feel comfortable. So you go up here and you can choose the degree of risk that you want to take. If you take full risk, then if you get the question right, you're going to get 100 points. But if you miss the question, then you're going to lose probably at least half of the points. Okay, so this is kind of like if you ever watched Jeopardy, which is my favorite program on television. When there is a daily double, the contestant has to decide how much they want to wager. And if they wager a lot, they do a true daily double and wager everything. Then if they get the question or the response correct, then they win a lot of money. Their earnings go up. But if they get it wrong, then they go, if it's a true daily double, that means they wagered everything, then it means they go down to zero and they have to start all over in accumulating points. Okay, so you can make your choice. Okay, we feel comfortable about this, so let's roll the dice. Let's go for the whole thing. Okay, all right. Political or conservative cultural conservatives would be in favor of traditional marriage, one man, one woman. Okay, so that would be correct, and they tell you why it is correct. Okay, and it tells you, okay, now you need to do the others. You're not through with the quiz. You got one right, but you got these others to do. Okay, all right. So, okay, are they? Okay, they would be in favor of immigration restrictions. Yes, they are uncomfortable with large numbers of people from other countries entering the United States, particularly if they're entering or trying to enter illegally. Okay. All right, so we got that one right. Okay. Now, are they in favor of expanded LGBTQ rights? No. If they were, then they would not be in favor of traditional marriage, because LGBTQ rights would involve same-sex marriage. So this, we drag down here, policies that cultural conservatives do not want to enact. Okay, so we're correct on that. Okay. All right. Promotion of gender equality. No, they believe in the traditional roles of men and women generally. They don't really promote gender equality. So that goes down here also. School choice. This would involve something called the voucher system, whereby a parent could decide that they want a junior to or sister to go to a private school. So under the voucher system, they could go to, for example, Aldine ISD and say, hey, I want all or part of my tax money back because I want to put my child in a private school. And under the voucher system, if Texas had one, which it doesn't, they would get some money, and that would take some money out of the coffers of Aldine ISD, and it would be transferred to a private school. That would be the voucher system. And cultural conservatives generally like that. They like the idea of putting their kids in private schools. Climate change mitigation. No, cultural conservatives are not too interested in that. They are not fully convinced that there is climate change, or if there is, whether or not it was caused by human action, and whether or not anything can be done about it. Okay, so they would not be in favor of that. Okay, so we would put that down here. They're not in favor of that. Okay, now limits to abortion. Okay, yes, cultural conservatives would be for limits to abortion. However, and we would normally put that up there. However, I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to deliberately answer the question wrong to see what happens. Okay, so we put that down here, and we know it's wrong, but we want to see what happens. Yeah, there we go. No, that's not right. And it says you can still earn 50 points. You're not going to get your 100 points that you were trying on, but we'll still give you 50 if you can try again and get the answer right. Well, there's only two ways to answer it, so obviously you can't fail. You know that limits to abortion is going to go up here. Okay, all right. So we got 50 points. Okay, we could have gotten 100 if we gotten them all right, but at least we got something. Okay, now the requirement is that you have to do at least 20 questions. You have to do at least 20 questions before you can complete the inquisitive and get a score. Now, after you complete 20 questions, the computer is going to give you a score. Your goal is to accumulate 1,500 points by answering 20 questions. Okay, the chances are after you've answered 20 questions, you're not going to have 1,500 points. Maybe you're going to have 1,000 points or something like that. And so the computer is going to give you a grade on what you have accomplished so far. Your grade may be in the 80s, for example. Okay, well, that's not good enough for us. We want more than that. So the computer will allow you to continue answering questions. Unlimited number of questions. You can keep answering questions. Your score will not go down. It will stay at a minimum what you've already scored. But every time you answer some more questions correctly, your score will go up. So eventually you will get to the 1,500 points, and you will get 100 on this inquisitive. Even though you probably missed a number of questions, you'll still get 100 because you were persistent. You didn't give up. You kept at it. And you learned as you went. That's the beauty of the inquisitives. That's the beauty of this, is that you can keep going and learn more as you're going. It's just like if I were there giving a lecture and talking to you about different topics, that you continue learning as you go through the additional questions that you are answering to achieve the $1,500 benchmark. Okay, Okay, also another beauty about the inquisitives is that if you get to a score but it's not the 1500 and you leave the inquisitives, you're not giving up on it. Throughout the course, you can always go back to that inquisitive, log on to it again, and answer some more questions and raise your grade. So you can always go back and do some more work and raise your grade. Okay, so it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful learning tool, and I think that you'll learn a lot doing it. Most people, oh, I hate to say it, but most people normally have to answer somewhere around 50, 60 questions in order to get the 1500, maybe less. I've had students that did less. I've had students that did a lot more. I had one student who had to answer 211 questions before she got to the 1500 points, and it took her 2.5 hours. Now that's extraordinary. I don't think any of y'all will have to do that. Normally it takes about an hour to an hour and a half to do an inquisitive and get to the 1500 points. Okay, but you might be able to do it sooner. I had another student who answered 21 questions actually and scored over 1500 points, and he did it in 8 minutes. Wow. So it just depends upon, if you did the reading. If you didn't do any of the reading and you try to just jump right off and do the inquisitive right off the bat, you probably will have trouble with it. But if you do the readings in the chapter before you do the inquisitive, it will go a lot easier for you. I guarantee you. Okay, so that's how you do an inquisitive, and there are 14 chapters in the book, so you have 14 inquisitives that you do, and you get a grade on each one. Okay, so let me get out of this and get to our next topic. Okay. So each one of these chapters is the same routine. You do the reading, read the chapter summary, and look at the PowerPoints, whatever, and then you do the inquisitive, and then you can move on to the next thing. After the first 3 chapters, then you do the exam on Unit 1, and this here again. This starts on June 13th. That's when it opens. That's when you can get in and watch the review on the exam for the exam on Unit 1. Okay, so you can watch the review starting June the 13th, but you cannot do the exam until June the 16th. Okay, so you can watch the review. I deliberately pace you there because I don't want you to jump ahead of yourself. I don't want you doing the exam before you watch the review. So you can watch the review starting. I don't want you watching the review before you do the inquisitives. I'm trying to, keep you doing things in a logical order. Okay, so you watch the review starting on June the 13th, and then you can do the exam starting June. Starting June the 13th. Okay. All right, so the exam also starts June the 13th. I changed that up. Okay, so you can start the exam right after you do the review. You can watch the review and then you can start the exam right away if you're ready. Okay, now it's due June the 16th. So you can start June the 13th, and you have to get it done by June the 16th. At midnight, June the 16th, the portal closes and you can't get in to do the exam after that. So you got to do it starting June the 13th and before midnight on June the 16th. Okay, and each one of the units works the same way. Your exams are graded immediately, and you will see your grade posted immediately. And I think on these exams, I think you can look. I think you have two efforts. You can do it twice, and your higher score will count. Okay, and Unit 2 and Unit 3 work the same way. You have chapters. Unit 2 has 3 chapters. Unit 3 has 4 chapters. Unit 4 has 4 chapters. So altogether you have 14 chapters. Okay. Now when you get to Unit 4, that's when you have the final exam. Okay, the final exam, you have the exam on Unit 4. Okay, you have the exam on Unit 4, plus you have 2 assessments. Assessments are general questions on the course, and you have 2 of those, but those count for a lot. Each one of these 2 assessments counts 5 points, and so that's a total of 10 points toward your grade right there. So if you do well on the assessments, there's only 10 questions on each one. If you get all 10 right on each one, that'll be a total of 10 points added to your score. And that's the same number of points that you get for the exam on Unit 4, which is 4 chapters. So these are very valuable. They can boost you from a B average into an A average, or it can go the other way, depending upon how you do. Okay, so that's the final exam, and you do that on July the 11th, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, but I will open the portal at 8:30, so you can start at 8:30. You can watch the review sooner. You can watch the review starting on July the 6th. You can watch the review, but you cannot, unlike your other exams, you cannot take the exams immediately after watching the review. You can watch the review starting July the 6th, but you can't take the exam until July the 11th, and it's done in one day. Okay, and then that's the end of the semester. Okay, now the next item is your research paper or project, and as I said, this is absolutely required. Absolutely required. You have to you have to submit a research paper or project. You can do a rough draft of your research paper and submit that to me. It's not graded. I read it and then I email you any suggestions that I might have. And then you can polish it up, and then you can submit as your final draft. You can submit the final draft, and it can be done at any time starting Monday, June the 6th at 12:01 a.m. You can do your research paper or rough draft. You can do those anytime starting Monday. Okay, but you got to get it done before midnight on July the 6th. Starts June the 6th and is due July 6th. Very poetic. Okay, and it's over with July 7th. So if you don't get it in by midnight on July 6th, then you flunk the course. Simple as that. Okay, now if you don't want to do a traditional research paper, traditional research paper is done in the APA writing style. And you have a sample research paper. It's a little slow loading. Okay. And all you have to do is look at the format of the research paper and follow the format. Okay, here's the format. You have a cover page, title page, cover page, whatever you want to call it. Okay, you have the title of your paper up at the top. You have it again in the middle, and you have your name and the information about the college and your course. Okay, the next page is an abstract. It's kind of like a summary of what your paper is going to be about. Again, you have the name of your paper up at the top. You will have that at the top of every page. It's called the running head. And then you have the paper itself. Again, you have the title of the paper up at the top, and then you have your paper, however long it is. Your whole paper has to be only 5 pages, and that includes your title page and your abstract. It also includes this page, which is your references. So your actual paper only has to be 2 pages. I hope that you would make it longer, but it only has to be 2 pages. And you have to have a minimum of 5 references. Okay, and so that's your research paper. And it's not hard to do. Any topic on Texas, you can do a paper on one of the famous people of Texas, like Sam Houston or Davy Crockett or William Travis or Stephen F. Austin, or you can do it on an individual, a current individual like Governor Greg Abbott or Mayor Sylvester Turner, or whatever, something to do with Texas. You can do it on legislation, like the voting rights legislation that recently passed, or the provision that recently passed concerning abortion. You can write it on that, or you can write it on a court case, Texas court case. Anything that you want. It has to concern Texas. That's the only thing. Okay, so don't write a paper on Joe Biden or Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, because that doesn't concern directly Texas. Okay, if you don't want to do a traditional research paper or project, you can write sort of free-handed about things, current topics that you have an interest in, and you need to. There's no particular format for it, but you need to make it interesting. You need to make it more than one paragraph. You need to make it. You need to get in several pages on your topic, but it can be sort of freehand. You're just talking about the topic and what you think about it. Okay, this is a little PowerPoint on college writing, how to write papers. That'll be instructive for you. Okay. Now we get down to what is I call extra credit. It's the U extra credit. I'd like to know something about you. What's going on in your mind? Write me a letter, tell me something about you, and you get 2 bonus points. So it's not graded, you just get automatically 2 points. You write me a letter and tell me something about yourself, and you do it the same way you do your research paper. Incidentally, your research paper, I forgot to mention, you do it in MS Word format on your laptop, and then if you want, then save it in PDF, then that's okay too. And then you go to that page. Let me go back to that page. Okay. Go back to this page. Then you go to this page, and you will click on the assignment. Now, see, I can't click on it and show you now because I'm in student mode, and this has not been activated until Monday. Starting Monday, you can click on all of these things that are in black now. You can click on Monday. Okay. All right, so at any rate, once you do your research paper in MS Word format, save it if you want to in PDF, then you just you click on assignment, and then you find your paper, click on it, and then click on submit, and it comes to me, and I give you a grade. Okay. All right, and you do the U question, extra credit the same way. You do a letter. There's no format. Just do a letter to me. Tell me things about yourself. Maybe something about your career. Have you made a career path choice? what are you interested in? What are your hobbies? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you scared? What are you worried about? Anything you want to tell me. And it's completely confidential. But I just like to know what's going on in students' minds nowadays. And so this is not mandatory. You don't have to do it. But do it and you get 2 points. So why not do it? Okay? And so that concludes my presentation, which is a little over an hour now. And so let me go back and conclude this. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, so that is your orientation or your instructions about the course. Feel free to email me or call me with any questions or problems that you have. And so I'm happy to have you in my class, and I hope I will make it interesting for you. So I'm going to sign off right now, but before I do, I need to give you a joke. I told you it was going to be fun. Okay, they say that spiders are very technologically advanced creatures. Why is that? Well, because almost every one of them has its own website. And they are also very informed because they can find out almost anything they want to know. Why? Because they're good at finding things on the web. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy the course.